One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Pan up pour them a singing Anthem. Red stripe, watch out. Man shall I make a forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal when I run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy.
The Red Stripe Premier League for champions only.
Closing in on kickoff time here with Red Stripe Football Mondays coming up. Portmore up against Cavaliers tonight. It's a cool night at the Stadium East Field here in St Andrew, and Portmore United, 5-time champions of Premier League football. Only Arnett Gardens, Tivoli and Santos have won as many titles as they have as far as domestic football is concerned. There are so many things here pointing to a Portmore United victory tonight. Cavaliers particularly weak at home. So curiously, George, they've only won 1 of their 5 home matches, and for the 16 points they have, 11 of them have come on the road.
A reverse of what happened the last time we saw them in the top flight, when they were awful on the road and their home form just wasn't strong enough to keep them up. So they have this bout of homesickness, an acute bout of homesickness, it must be said, that they'll have to cure this evening to get the second round running right.
That's right, as the ball boys and the match officials prepare to lead the team out. Conversely, Portmore United very strong on the road. They have won 4 of their 5 away matches so far this season. They have a strong attack with 19 goals. Only Arnett Gardens has outscored them. And no team in the Red Stripe Premier League football season so far has conceded fewer goals than Portmore. They're unbeaten in their last 4 matches, so they are pretty strong here and looking as if they can pull off a victory. But while we say all of that, George, how will the absence of Ewan Grandison and their leading goal scorer Jeremy Lynch affect Portmore negatively tonight? That fact seems to even this match out a bit.
Yeah, they lose some robustness in midfield. They lose some mobility in midfield as well, and crucially, they lose quality passing from deep, which they have used to hurt teams in the past. Grandison has a peculiar set of skills, and one of them is passing from long range, and I don't know if his replacement has that in his locker.
Well, getting close to kickoff time here. O'Shea Nation is the man with a whistle tonight. And there's Ricardo Morris. Portmore United playing in blue tonight. Usually they play in a predominantly white strip. They're in blue tonight. Cavaliers are in white. We're about to have the national anthem. Just a few minutes away from kickoff. Michelle Cunningham, assistant brand manager Red Stripe, meeting the players, the officials. She's already met the Portmore players. Now she'll talk to the Cavalier men, led by Siobhan Marsh, their captain.
69, 67, match number 67, ladies and gentlemen, match day number 12. 16, 27.
There's Kahim Paris, the 17-year-old from Dintil, fresh out of the Costa Cup football, stepping up into the big leagues. Now the Jamaica national anthem. the Jamaica national anthem, setting up a huge match here between Cavalier and Portmore tonight. A cool night here, a lovely night for football, George, and these two exciting teams are expected to give the fans a lot to cheer about tonight.
Yeah, the surface, I took a walkabout on the pitch earlier. The height of the grass is good. The ball will run and run true. It has taken a lot of football, though, the Stadium East field, because of course we're at the climax of the schoolboy football season and a lot of games have been played here at Stadium East, but the pitch looking good enough. And look, we have to be fair, by Jamaican standards, this is a good strip that they're playing on. The players will enjoy the conditions, and no doubt the underfoot conditions, of course, will also be appreciated.
Oshie Nation, the man with the whistle this evening, Stephen Adele Using and Jacet Carr, his assistants. And Nerissa Goldson is the fourth official. So Ricardo Morris steps in as the captain tonight for Portmore in the absence of Ewan Grandison, who is out with a thigh injury.
Yeah, one suspects that the only other candidate for the captaincy was Jovan East, given the seniority of the Portmore United team and the pecking order. But question for you, Lance, quick question. We have Malik Foster, we have Chevon Marsh, we have Alex Marshall. Hamilton is on the bench for the Cavaliers team. Who's the fastest player on the pitch this evening?
Not too sure. Maybe Hamilton, Duncan Plummer, Walcott Simpson, Mitchell, Smith, Dejani Isaacs, Marsh, Brown, Kaheem Paris, the 17-year-old in the number 7 shirt for Cavalier tonight.
Kaheem Paris, number 7, look at him. He's going to play behind Alex Marshall. He has 30, well, he scored 30 goals in the schoolboy football season just ended for his team. He scored 15 last year, so 45 goals in schoolboy football. He's stepping up to play against the men in the big league. Played for Cavalier in the Major League, the league beneath the Premier League. Let's see how he cuts it here.
Yeah, and of course he was invited to the national team setup earlier on this year as well. So that tells you that the national setup has confidence in him as well. Shavon Sean Paul is the goalkeeper for Portmore United as usual. Solomon Ricketts, Phil Potts, Foster. There's McCallum Morris, Willis Johnson, Evans and East. Willis Johnson and Malik Foster, all Jamaica College old boys.
Oh yes, Portmore United play a very, very uncomplicated system. Ricardo Morris will sit in the hole behind Javon East. If the game is not going well, watch Morris, number 8, drift to the right flank to try to cut in on that deadly right foot of his. But this team, very well schooled. They know this formation inside out and they can adjust if the situation demands.
So back in late September when the season started, these two teams met and it was Portmore winning by 1-0 over Cavalier. But both teams have done reasonably well since that. Cavalier at the moment on a 6-game unbeaten streak. Portmore on a 4-game unbeaten streak. Portmore, though, 5 points better than Cavalier at the moment in the standings. They're second on 21 points and Cavalier in 6th on 16.
The first time these teams met, I saw a bit of that game at Arnold Grange. In fact, I watched the entire second half. Cavalier got chances, Lance, to tide them over for 3 Christmases, 3 winters. Took none of them. That's why they lost.
Oshie Nation, the referee, gets this one started. Wow, almost an uncertain start there by the Cavalier players. Not challenged. And Cavalier at the back. Hurried, early. This is their home patch, Cavalier, but curiously they've won just 1 of their 5 home matches so far this season. And of the 16 points they've gathered so far in the tournament, 11 of them have come from away fixtures. So that would be something pretty worrying for Coach Rudolph Speed.
Based on how the stadium here is here at the Stadium East field, not much atmosphere generated.
Portmore on the defensive at the moment. Paris, the 17-year-old from Dinthill. Now Mitchell. Paris wants the ball back. Likes to have a lot of the ball, Paris.
He'll travel Paris, Will Lance, to a youth tournament with the Cavalier Youth Brigade, to a training camp, well, a little tournament, a mini tournament in Gothenburg, Sweden next month. One of 2 overage players. I think it's an under-15 tournament, but he's been invited as well to continue his development.
It's great news for the young player. Portmore. Great turn there by Foster. Morris. Cavalier coming back in numbers to get rid of that one. So ensuring that they have a number of players behind the ball at the moment. Vilfot sprays the ball wide. Shot driven on goal from distance. No problems there. In the Cavalier goal.
Foster trying his luck on target, but no venom behind it. The brilliant thing about this game, Lance, is that these two teams are filled with players with ambition for better.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we see teams, or matches between teams who the players are just playing to survive. It's their, it pays the bills, not these players. Both teams filled with teenagers. I told you earlier, the Cavalier average age 22. Players looking to get overseas contracts, to make the step up to the Reggae Boys level so they can catch the eyes of scouts in clubs afar. Two ambitious teams on display.
Cavalier losing possession in midfield. Portmore giving the ball away. Siobhan East, their speed. Also technical director of the Wilmer's Manning Cup program.
Also president of the Volleyball Federation in Jamaica, Lance.
Yeah, that's right. Pretty quiet start here for these two teams. Cavalier giving the ball away on forced error, so putting themselves under some unnecessary early pressure here, Cavalier.
Really looking to see how the Portmore midfield will settle without Grandison, an imposing presence there, robust. Shavar Thomas, still robust.
Yeah, but 10-year MLS veteran Shavar Thomas.
Yes.
Played for the Kansas City Wizards, Chivas USA, and also had a stint at the Montreal Impact. At central defense most of the time.
Did you say former Reggae Boy?
At all levels, under 17, under 20, and at the senior level. Paris. Mitchell. Simpson getting the ball further back. Enterprising play there by Omar. Walcott getting the header out for Cavalier.
It's a low-octane start, Lance, because both teams respect each other's ability on the break, especially their pace on the break. So it's being kept compact so far, not much space being allowed and not many risks taken in going forward when each of the teams have possession, because they know a turnover could be fatal.
Brown, Marshall. Very skillful on the ball, Marshall, the 19-year-old. Delightful ball across here. Walcott. Paris. Robbed of the ball. Foster on the counter-attack for Portmore. Good skill from Foster. Morris. Portmore looking fluent in this attack. Osani Ricketts overhits diagonally into the box.
I see Morris playing centrally, Lance. Every time we've seen him over the past 2 or so seasons, he's never effective when played centrally, at his best on the flanks. But I guess he has more defensive responsibility this evening, given that Grandison isn't in the starting 11. So he'll have to be a more disciplined game, perhaps with instructions to be more circumspect than he is under normal circumstances.
And the absence of Jeremy Lynch, who is out with a fractured nose, which he suffered in training mid-November ahead of the Mobe game. Morris is Portmore's leading scorer this season with 5 goals. Lynch also has 5 strikes. Ryan Miller from UWI, former Cavalier man, currently heads up the goal-scoring table with 7 strikes. Handball.
Harsh call, I believe. Ball bounced upon his arm.
McCullough with a free kick for Portmore. Plays it inside here to Foster. Foster, very skillful player. Scored in the final against Arnett Garns last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Portmore on the attack. Morris with a cheeky play to East, who gets into the box. Corner was closely marshalled. Wasn't able to get his cross in.
Very good defense. He had it on the favorite foot. Just wanted it to run across his body a little bit quicker to free him for the shot. But on the premises was Rashawn Plummer.
I've been impressed with Plummer all season here. Very, very solid central defender, former St. Thomas Technical 24-year-old. He's really looked pretty sturdy at central defense for Cavalier, who, as we said at the moment, are the #1 defensive team in the league, conceding just 6 goals. No other team has conceded fewer goals than they have. Portmore with some hasty defensive work now. Morris challenges but doesn't get to the ball. Marsh's diagonal play overhit.
Some patterns already becoming apparent, Lance. Portmore United, they've been able to pass the ball from their defense through their midfield up to the forward positions. Cavalier haven't been able to do so. Tell you more soon.
Cavalier on the attack.
Had the shooting option there, Chevron Marsh, but kept dribbling.
Oh, he's probably on the wrong foot, George.
Perhaps.
Highly left-footed player. That's Shavonna Willis, former Jamaica College Manning Cup Championship winning midfielder. Oh, delightful play here by Portmore. Foster sets it for Morris. Oh, that was just wide to the near post. Firing the left-footed effort there, Morris, but just wide.
Beautiful combination play for Portmore United, and so sharp and snappy. The Cavalier defenders, they're there in their numbers, but nobody picking up the men involved in playing that triangle or whatever shape they eventually hammered out. Morris' shot not going too far wide.
Yeah. To be fair, the Cavalier goalkeeper looked to have had that one covered anyway.
I was at the point that Cavalier have been dribbling into the Portmore half. Portmore have been passing their way into the Cavalier half. It's a difference. When you dribble, you are carrying the ball, but are you carrying any of your teammates with you? Probably not. When you pass, you're more likely to be carrying a teammate to support you if you need to lay off that ball, if you need to make an angle for a pass. That's what Portmore have been doing better so far.
That's Marshall. Oh, the cross inside. Cavalier with an opportunity, but now Marshall gets it, but he's unable to get the shot. It was Marsh that took it into him in the first place.
Dribbling into the box, Chevron Marsh, but Marshall had it on the wrong foot, on the right foot. The shot wasn't a genuine effort, was charged down by the defense, and the ball didn't break for him.
Anxious moment there for the Portmore coach, Thomas. There's Marshall. Rudolph Speed boasts about his attacking trio. Calls them MMH or MHN.
Yes.
Marsh, Marshall, Hamilton.
Oh, yes. You have to find somewhere to squeeze a P in there for Paris.
Ball floated forward. McConnell putting the chase on here for Portmore. Ricketts inside. Ball just bobbles up there on Phil Potts.
Bad pass by the skipper, trying to change the angle of attack and overhit his pass. Went under no pressure. That's Rudolph Speed. Has done wonders for this Cavalier club. They went down. Many people thought they'd disappear without a trace, but they've come roaring back into the Premier League. It's no club for old men, Lance.
That's right.
If you're young enough, you're good enough for Mr. Speed.
champions back in 1981. Cavalier, their only title.
Before I was born, once.
I was just out of school, actually. I remember that team well. Michael Zun Clark, David Bernard, who is current trainer of the Jamaica cricket team, physical trainer. There's also Wayne Wanda, and quite a few outstanding. David Burgess, a former Camperdown standout.
Was that the team they called Duncan's Destroyers, lads?
Yes, they were.
Duncan, their coach.
Yeah.
The bespectacled Duncan.
Yeah.
There you go.
Big, strapping gentleman who dedicated his life to football and the Cavalier Football Club. There's Phil Potts in the Portmore midfield. Has a big job tonight because their inspirational captain Grandison is out with a thigh injury, and at the moment you can see them kind of searching for some rhythm without Grandison. And also Jeremy Lynch, who has fired 5 goals for them so far this season. Morris, pass well read and cut off efficiently by Omar Walcott for Cavalier. Morris, McCullough, good passing game this being displayed here by Portmore. Phil Potts under some pressure. Delightful football. Now there goes Morris. Foster, the back heel. Oh, I don't think even his teammates recognized that that was what he's going to do. And the Cavalier defenders efficiently got rid of the ball.
That was a sequence of about 18 passes, Lance. That was impressive from Portmore.
Yeah. Portmore trying to get their passing game going. That's Willis.
Been impressive so far, playing in the Grandison role, just sitting in front of his defense, always available for a pass. Shivani Willis, the former Boys Town player, impressed for Boys Town last season.
Fresh out of helping Jamaica College win the Manning Cup title last year.
Oh yes.
Ball stolen from him there by Marsh. Paris tries to cut inside, the fortunate rebound, and goalkeeper Paul has to slide and block the ball. In the meantime, the whistle had gone.
Offside. The flag on the play from the assistant on the far side. Just as I was praising Shivani Willis, he gave the ball away in the center of the field. And this is Marsh running offside now, so he goes back to re-engage with the play. That's why the flag went up in the far side. Good work by the assistant. That's something you don't do, you don't see with Grandison. You have to fight him to take the ball off him. Willis gave up the ball too easily in a dangerous position just now.
Phil puts under pressure and loses the ball. Cavalier tackling in numbers. Paris, first touch not the best, but he recovers well. The 17-year-old in control. Cavalier giving them all up too easily in midfield. There goes Morris. Still Morris. Oh, that's a tremendous strike to the near post. Cavalier now trying to get a counter-attacking play going. Paris all alone by himself on the left. Marshall under pressure. Simpson's long ball across. Brown to Marsh. And Portmore giving up a corner here as the ball slides off the
boot of Solomon.
Of Solomon, yeah.
This is a good football game brewing. I tell you what, Portmore United, Ricardo Morris driving at the defense just now, having it on the good left foot, and the goalkeeper alert to block. What was a cross, but driven across his 6-yard box, alert, and then Cavalier patiently coming up the other end. Good interchange between Paris and Marshall, and they've won a corner for their effort.
One corner each for both teams now. Marshall with his favoured left boot will try to curl this one in. Has 5 white shirts to aim at. Will make that 4 now. Ball cleared away there by, I think it was Orlando Brown. Oh, Orlando won't try to go forward. Portmore on the advance now.
Excellent tackle. Excellent tackle. Got all ball. He did. The Portmore man on the floor saying he was fouled. The referee nation not fooled.
Cavalier trying to get their counter-attacking going down the right side. And that's Brown, I think, over there on the right. Former JC man. Oh, dazzling skills there, but eventually loses his balance and the ball.
Actually, that was Paris Lance who switched from the left to the right flank and went through a series of step overs. There's a Portmore man still on the edge of the Cavalier box, favoring the knee.
Yeah, he's been down a while.
This is the tackle coming up now. And look at that, all ball. That's a brilliant tackle, very well timed. And Roberto Johnson, it may have been a collision in the follow-through from the defender, a clash of knees, and he came off worst. We know those are very painful.
Yeah, that's bone on bone, isn't it? So that would be hurtful.
Paris seems to have a free roll, Lance. We've seen him, well, he started the game on this left side to nearest to our commentary point. We just saw him pop up on the right. He has that license to drift across the attacking line to get into the game and to influence the game.
Approaching 19 minutes now into the match, and tense going here between these two teams. Johnson will probably make his way back onto the field for Portmore in short order.
It is clear, Lance, two very well coached teams we're watching here this evening. Players technically good.
Ricketts, Phil Potts. Great skill there by Foster, who darts forward. McCullough. Willis. Morris. Oh no, they've given the ball away after a sequence of neat passes on the left. Cavalier now will try to rebuild from the back. Marsh. Marshall under pressure. Fights hard. Marshall does and wins the ball. Walcott gets it but doesn't keep it. McCullough challenges successfully for Portmore. Marshall in the meantime hurt from the challenge on him earlier on.
Yeah. Battle between two men who last season were fighting it out at the schoolboy level. One for JC, one for St. George's. The former Georgian coming out the worst.
Marshall still only 19 years old, and number 11 for Cavalier. Foster successfully challenged. Crunching challenges in midfield at the moment. Willis just sets the ball back, takes the pressure off this Portmore team for the moment. Solomon. Portmore displaying a really good, efficient passing so far up to 21 minutes of the game.
Very patient, but they can be so patient because Cavalier is not using a high press. They're almost inviting them, and then when they get within 15 yards beyond the half line is when the Cavalier defenders engage. Maybe a dangerous tactic. Let's see. Cavaliers drop off in numbers when Portmore have the ball, almost inviting them to come.
Fenton Evans there, the Portmore number 12, making some exciting moves down the left side for Portmore. Morris going down there. Morris had been scheduled to be a part of the Jamaica Copa Centenario squad last year, but had some issues with a heart ailment and was taken out of the national program. Returned to domestic football for Portmore last season and did well enough to help Portmore get to the final for the second year in a row. Paris. Walcott.
Good call by the referee.
Phil Potts committing the foul there for Portmore, just ensuring that the Cavalier teenager doesn't have his way with him.
Give Paris the cold shoulder.
Paris, I think, will strike this himself. Paul in goal for Portmore. Just 4 white shirts across the back of the box to aim at here for Paris. Good curling one. Foster. Great speed, Foster. Ball slid through here to East. Just too much weight on the pass from Morris.
Oh, you want that back. Just wanted to cushion that with the instep into the path of East. Got it on what footballers call the bump of the instep.
Ball banked away with power by Johnson. Taking no prisoners down the right flank.
Yeah, but he's being spoken to by O'Shea Nation, who didn't like his follow-through. Was aggressive in clearing that ball, and the referee telling him to cool it.
Both teams have suffered from relegation in the last 5 years of Premier League football. To Portmore's credit, since returning to the top flight 2 seasons now in a row, they've been in the finals twice, so they've completely shaken off the relegation tag that they had to wallow in for a while. Cavalier first season back in the top flight. Dangerous cross, and Paul on his near post has to grab onto the ball for dear life. East holds on to the ball, going for his favorite left-footed shot now. Foster was there waiting for an opportunity as well. East went for the goal himself.
Wrong decision there, because 2 men were breaking. Out of your picture, look at Malik Foster trying to get the pass. Okay, he couldn't pass it to Foster, but Ricardo Morris was making the ground up on his left, on his outside, and asking for him to just knock a little ball into his path. But East was determined to finish what he had started, and his shot in the end wayward.
East has had 3 goals so far this season. Cavalier having more of the ball possession so far in this match with 54%.
Yeah, because they're walking around with it at the back, so their possession is derived from how much time they have the ball in their possession.
2 seasons ago, when they were beaten in the final by Montego Bay United, East had been Portmore's leading goal scorer with 10 goals. Last year he only had 6, but he has 3 already, 1/3 of the season through, so if he keeps this up, he'll better last year's effort, I think.
Paris not getting any joy from referee Nation, went down just now and thought he was fouled. And good defensive work from the schoolboy.
Yeah. Just for the moment, a high press there being adopted by the Cavalier team, but they haven't been using that strategy much in this game so far.
Yeah, you don't, I guess the reasoning will be you don't high press a team that breaks with the likes of Morris and Malik Foster, who are lightning quick.
Orlando Brown full of tricks there on the right side. Not happy with the referee's call, is he?
Former JC man, right?
Yeah. He was part of their championship winning team last year, I think. Brown still only 19 years old. Morris. Really good skill on the ball, Morris.
You made the point about him missing out on the Copa Centenario lands. And I'd venture to say he is better than a few of those we saw actually take the feet for Jamaica in that competition.
Can't say I disagree with you there. Foster on the end of that cross and over the top with the effort. Harassed by the Cavalier defender, but still was able to get a shot off.
Actually, it was the defender who knocked that away from him. Look at the cross. Malik Foster waiting for it to drop to apply the finish, but the defender earns his corn.
Just robbing Foster the opportunity at striking at goal there. We saw Cavalier with a corner kick earlier on with 4 players in the box. 6 for Portmore in the box here. Willis goes for the shot. I would think belatedly. Why didn't he strike that one first time when it came to him?
The first touch was awful, Lance. And the ball spent so long in the air, he had to wait on it to drop. By the time he did so, the defender was on him in a flash. But that was caused by a less than optimum first attempt at the control.
So another corner here for Portmore. Great strike across the box. The header just over the top.
Chance.
That was pretty close.
Sule Makala, chance. I'm sorry, you have to bury those. This is the corner kick from Morris. He wins the header under pressure, no doubt. And the player's shoulder barged his shoulder, but he still got there first. At this level, you expect Sule Makala to at least give the keeper some work to do.
Yeah, Makala there doing well to get the contact, but over the top with it. Approaching the half-hour mark in the game, and tight going here between these two teams. Solomon. East takes it down well. Foster. Paris goes charging away. Foster puts the chase on. Still Paris. Huge collision there with Marsh, who goes down hurt.
I didn't see a foul in that. You may have said the right thing, collision, because it was clear the player touched the ball. And Phil Potts will be feeling, well, why is that a free kick? Morris asking, how far? 10 yards is the answer.
So Cavalier with a free kick now. Let's say from probably 28 yards or so, with an opportunity to strike at goal. And it looks as if Rashawn Plummer wants this opportunity to strike for Cavalier. 4-man wall for Portmore. Plummer focusing. Plummer! That's just high.
Yeah, rising all the time. Got a lot of power behind it.
Yeah, did get the power there. Just sailed over the top.
And that's the benefit of a wall. He had to start it so high.
So just under 14 minutes remaining now in the half. Both teams battling here for some kind of ascendancy. Makala under pressure from Walcott. Gets by Walcott. Well does Makala. His cross is deflected. And good take towards the near post there from Duncan.
Beautiful defending by Walcott. as a fullback, your recovery tackle is your best friend. You're going to get beaten by wingers or midfielders. That's no doubt. There's no doubt about that.
Cavalier on the attack. Solomon. Alert central defense for Portmore. A bit hasty there. Morris with a return pass, so he doesn't find the target.
Yeah, it was with the right foot as well.
No, Marshall wants to be cheeky there and loses possession in midfield. Morris. East takes it down well. East. Still East. McCullough. Walcott challenges successfully, but McCullough almost gets the favorable rebound.
Walcott standing strong. Two men ganging up on Sujay McCullough just now. Well, Sule McCullough and stripping him off the ball. Made the point about how Walcott, after being beaten, recovered to close his man down. Good battle between those two on this near side.
Phil Potts across to Roberto Johnson. So far we've seen Malik Foster looking really mobile in an attacking midfield position for Portmore United.
Yeah, has been working well in combination with Ricardo Morris and Sule McCullough. And as is often the case, too often the Portmore final ball is found wanting, but they've been good so far. Good on the eye.
We hardly see drawn results between these two teams, Cavalier and Portmore. The last 7 times they've met, we've had 5 Portmore victories and 2 Cavalier wins. So Portmore head-to-head against Cavalier have been superior. Even in the year 2013-2014, where Portmore were poor and were relegated, they beat Cavalier twice, 4-0 and 2-0. Cavalier did win one of those fixtures, 1-0. McCullough, Phil Potts, Solomon. Solomon, they're being stalked just now by Paris. Willis. Delightful play from Willis. Portmore looking strong in the box. McCullough goes for the strike, but it's off target.
Improbable from Sule McCullough. Should have kept that play going. Lovely by Shivani Willis. Took the ball from inside his own half, sprinted through the middle to start this play. McCullough's effort, very low percentage. Hardly going to score from there. So a contrast of styles here, Lance. Dribble penetration is what Cavalier want to use. Portmore using a combination of dribble penetration and pass penetration.
But looking at them play here tonight, they haven't looked as potent, Cavalier, as we have seen them when Hamilton is in the starting roster. Because of his extreme pace, supplementing the skill of Marsh and Marshall, that certainly makes for in my estimation, a more complete Cavalier attack. Marshall, good skill on the ball. Whistle. Oh, there was a challenge on Walcott. Now the referee was allowing the play to go on to see if Cavalier would have kept possession of the ball. They didn't, so he gives Cavalier the benefit now.
Yeah, good observation just now. When Hamilton is there, he plays furthest forward and Marshall is able to create. He's on the ball. This evening so far, he's waiting to receive the ball.
Yeah, Marshall's kick inside is not a very good one. Cut off very well there by Phil Potts, who is having a very busy game here tonight. Foster, edge of the box. Willis goes for a strike from distance, but hits it really high.
Yeah, wondering about that again, because Venton Evans was hanging off the outside of the 18-yard box to his left and was asking for a pass into space. And the young man passed up that opportunity to go for the effort on goal. When Marshall is creating, Lance, and he's on the ball, Cavalier look different. But he's the point man in this attack.
Portmore. Morris miskicks the ball. Oh, Portmore, though, regaining possession now. Foster has it. Some twinkly toes from Foster. The cross inside. Oh, and the ball is off. East and into the goalkeeper. East was unprepared and didn't really strike the ball. The ball struck him. And Duncan retrieves easily in the goal for Cavalier.
This is the cross coming in. Watch number 24, Kamoy Simpson. It's his inadvertent touch that threw East off, froze him, and as Lance noted, it could only strike him. He knew nothing about it. He didn't expect the defender to miss. He wasn't prepared.
Wow. Cavalier quickly on the counter-attack with Marsh. Marsh dropping deep for possession. Trying to exchange passes there. East tries to get into the box and does. Can he get a left-footed shot up? It's his favorite shot. Duncan to the near post. McCullough. Untied stuff here from Cavalier at the back. But Portmore unable at the moment to make them pay.
Cavalier needs some reorganizing now. The midfield is the problem, not so much the defense. The defense have been bailing them out. Too many men want to dribble the ball out of defense. You have to mix it up.
Venton Evans doing a little too much with the ball there and losing it, and now Cavalier on the counter-attack. Evans comes back and clips Marshall's heels. Marshall down hurt.
Yeah, that was, has to get a card. Shane Nation has to produce it, and I agree with this effort because he was fouling Marsh repeatedly during that run just now. Was just snapping until Marshall went down. But Portmore unlucky to not be ahead. This is Evans trying to get it. Marshall protecting cleverly, his body between man and the ball. Evans sticking to the task doggedly, but hurting the Cavalier forward in the process.
Former St. George's College standout as the confirmation there for the Venton Evans yellow card. Has had a pretty rough time here at the top flight for Cavalier in his Premier League debut season. Being given his license to dribble and take on defenders by Coach Rudolph Speed. But most of the matches I've seen Cavalier play so far this season, Alex Marshall is the most fouled player on their team.
Yeah, reminding me of Eden Hazard. Usually when he loses the ball it's because he's fouled.
Yeah. So, tough fixture here for Cavalier. 5 points behind Portmore, who are second in the table. Cavalier in 6th. Cavalier can actually go to 3rd in the standings if they get a win tonight, depending on the margin of their victory if they get it.
The assistant getting in the way of young Brown just now.
Stephanie Dale-Yee-Sing over there. Saw her warming up earlier on and running alongside referee Nation and the other assistant, Jacid Carr. She looked a little like Shelly Ann Fraser-Price while she was running and warming up there. Certainly the pace wouldn't be the same, but the form looked a little similar.
There you go.
Mitchell to Walcott. Room here now for Morris, and now Foster. Still Foster. Foster goes for the strike from 24 yards. It's high, but ambitious from the little man.
Yeah, he's been busy. He's been influential. And his eyes lit up there. The ball may have taken a slight bobble as he connected with it, which is why it soared so high. But Cavalier have a problem in the midfield, Lance, and he's wearing number 27, Jerome Smith. It's about 3 or 4 occasions now that he's been caught in possession by the Portmore team. And that turnover has resulted in a counter-attack. It may prove fatal on one of these occasions. He may be one of those players that Rudolph Speed will give a stern talking to the next 4 or so minutes.
Solomon has it. 3 minutes to the half-time break. Willis now for Portmore. Morris caught on his heels there and almost lost possession. That's Ricketts getting the ball forward. Philpotts on the advance. Room here for Philpotts. Over drills the ball a bit, but it falls favorably to Morris. Now McCallum. He has 2 blue shirts in the box waiting for it. Ricketts does well here. Philpotts has his effort blocked by David Mitchell, the dreadlock number 6 for Cavalier. Not often you see a former Campion college student playing Premier League football, but we have one here in Mitchell in the number 6 shirt and the dreadlocks. Smith trying to force the ball through. Wow. Morning Foster being manhandled by Brown. Oh, former JC teammate. But they have different agendas tonight. Oh, great skill. Oh, pretty football here from Portmore. Cavalier backing up in numbers and finally getting rid of the ball.
Lovely interplay between East and Morris. Those two, along with Foster, have been connecting well so far in this half. Just the final pass, the final flick, just not running for them. Hassan Ricketts lost of concentration momentarily there.
Yeah, sometimes that shows the value of putting pressure on, because it was Marsh that was zoning in on him to put some pressure on, and that sort of had him a bit flustered.
And ball by Willis. The Cavalier players guilty of turning over possession in some dangerous parts of the field, with some sloppy passes or some improbable attempts at dribbling through a maze of blue shirts. Sometimes there's merit in just hoofing it long, Lance.
Yeah, for sure. Mitchell, good football. Marsh robbed of the ball here by Philpotts. Marsh sliding the ball through here. Paris gets there, but the goalkeeper does as well.
Beautiful play from Chevron Marsh. Got away with a foul there, I thought. Pushed the defender out of the way. Referee didn't call it. Lovely pass into the path of Paris. That's a lovely flighted pass. Paris is in business, but Shotu Shav and Sean Paul gets there first, the goalkeeper.
Oh, Paris displaying his skills on the right. Paul. Ball bobbles from his hands, but recovers from the Walcott challenge.
Strong from Paul.
Simpson to Mitchell. Sliding the ball through. Marsh does well to recover from the initial fall. Mitchell. Simpson. Marshall steals the ball. Has Walcott in support. Here's Walcott under some pressure. Simpson. Simpson's first touch is poor and invites a successful challenge from Philpotts. And now Morris starts the counter-attacking play for Portmore United. Still Morris. Too much weight on the pass from Morris.
Yeah, goes down holding his face, saying he took a forearm. Referee Nation not buying it. It's actually half-time, Lance.
That's right. They played a minute over, and no goals here in the first half. As we said, these teams never usually draw matches, but at the moment, no goals in this fixture between number 2 Portmore and number 6 Cavalier. So on a cool night in St Andrew, Jamaica, the Stadium East Field, Red Stripe Football Mondays, at the moment, locked at 0-0, Portmore against the home team Cavalier.
say one bag of gold medal pan me no. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a sing Anthem. Red stripe, watch out. Man shall I let a forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal win a run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now.
The Red Stripe Premier League for champions only.
Back at the Stadium East Field, Portmore and Cavalier locked in a 0-0 battle, but there have been some close shaves so far in this match. Javon Eastler striking to the near post and Duncan making the save for Cavalier, but a match so far that has seen limited goal-mouth action and not a lot of action from either of the goalkeepers, but Portmore have looked the more threatening team, we would have to say.
Yeah, Ricardo Morris, Malik Foster, Jovan East, all having sighters at goal. None with a gilt-edged chance just yet. One came to East, you'll see in short order. This is Morris driving at the defenders. The cross comes across. Well, the cross can only go across. And the goalkeeper equal to the task for Cavalier, with East waiting to pounce. And not the best handling, but that was hit with some venom. And then this is East working all by himself. He'll get support from Morris, but ignores it and scuffs his shot badly. And Foster sliding in, trying to divert it in the other direction, and he missed it totally. Fresh ear kick for Foster, and the Cavalier dodged the bullet there.
Yeah, Foster just a fraction late sliding in there with the effort.
Maybe if that was a pass for him, he would have gotten there. And then this free kick, always rising from Rashawn Plummer. Powerfully struck, for the accuracy lacking.
Yeah, but a match that has seen Portmore looking the more positive of the two teams.
That's the effort I'm talking about. The defender missing it, Kamoy Simpson. The cross comes in. He doesn't clear properly, and poor old East not expecting the ball to beat the defender at all, and he's on his way down when it falls just above his knees on his thighs, and he can't do anything. This is East again working, trying to work the shooting angle. Gets the shot off. A stinging low effort, but cleared by the Cavalier defense. So East has made his presence felt, at least so far, Lance, but hasn't gotten a break just yet.
Yeah, East has found himself in the 18-yard area a couple of times here in this match so far, with opportunities to strike. 10 shots attempted at goal so far by Portmore, only 3 of them on target, significantly fewer on both ends from Cavalier. 5 fouls each for both teams. 1 yellow card so far in the match issued to Benton Evans from the Portmore team, and 3 corners so far for Portmore United, and Cavalier enjoying more of the ball possession at 55%. We're going to get ready for kickoff for the second half. Portmore, Cavalier, Red Stripe Football Mondays.
One bag of gold medal pan me no. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a sing Anthem. Red stripe, watch out. Man shall I let a forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal win a run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now.
The Red Stripe Premier League for champions only.
Back at the Stadium East Field here for second half action. Portmore United against Cavalier, and we're about to see the whistle from referee O'Shane Nation to start off the second half. No goals in the first half, and Portmore now in blue, Cavalier in white, and we're ready. Go ahead, Mr. Nation, it's your time. His whistle is about to go now. It does. Portmore, Morris, long ball down the right flank. Oh, Walcott was not making a mess of the attempted clearance for Cavalier. He has given up Throw.
One of the things missing from the Portmore game in the first half was tempo. They did things a little bit too deliberate at times to my liking. We want to step it up a notch.
Right, Morris. And now the cross inside. Oh, East gets the header off. Was shoved as he tried to go for the header, but Duncan makes a good save for Cavalier.
Second header being won by a Portmore man in the Cavalier box in this match. First one was by McCullough, who headed just over.
Brown fouled by Johnson. Free kick to Cavalier just on the halfway line.
So Portmore need to step things up a notch.
Isaacs takes the return pass from Plummer. Now they've lost it. And there's Evans going sprinting away now for Portmore. Oh, delightful ball inside. Malik Walcott trying to get there, but Duncan gets there before him.
Don't think Kamoy Simpson knew where that ball was in the number 24 shirt for Cavaliers. Duncan has picked up an injury. This is the pass played in by Evans. And Simpson at 6s and 7s, not realizing that Malik Foster was on the premises and buzzing.
Yeah, I think Foster's left boot caught the head of Duncan as well as he went for the ball.
Yeah, accidental.
Yeah. Oh, Duncan caught by Malik Foster's boot while Foster was in full flight. So didn't appear to feel the pain immediately because he was so intent on stopping the goal from scoring or stopping an opportunity from developing for Portmore.
Yeah. The Portmore team, as I noted, will have to step the pace up. Perhaps they played that way to ensure that they took care of the ball. Of course, the higher tempo at which you attempt to make passes and execute skills is the higher risk you run of losing the ball. But they have to take risks now if they want to win this game. They are top-class players relative to this level. They must be able to play at a higher tempo.
So Duncan looks as if he'll be okay. Looks a little unsteady still, but he'll be allowed to continue. So Cavalier continuing to struggle with their home form.
Only 5 points at home this season. 5 from a possible 15. And only Boys Town, the Cellar Dwellers lands, have a worse return at home. So they're not enjoying the Stadium East field. The Cavalier isn't.
Yeah, which is pretty strange, isn't it? Morris, Portmore on the advance. Morris, East. Eventually Cavalier giving up a corner here as Portmore were searching for the passes on the edge of their 18.
Portmore just lacking that little bit of quality, and they have this Cavalier defense where they want them. Cavalier defending with many numbers, but they are standing beside each other, looking at the Portmore players, knocking triangles around them.
Corner for Portmore. Oh, the header on goal. Bob McCullough, but not directed on target.
Free header there, with a difficult skill to contort his body to get that one on target. And Duncan still feeling the effects of that stray boot to the headlands.
Yeah. Even while he was resuming his position in the goal, you saw him shaking the head and looking a little unsteady. And we know that FIFA in the past couple of years has instituted measures to ensure that head injuries are taken seriously and not taken for granted. So some problems here for Duncan. He tells team physio that he's still feeling some pain in the back of the head. Here is where Foster goes for the ball, and it looks more like his knee that's probably striking him there on the head. At this moment doesn't appear to be feeling too much pain, caught up in the heat of the moment, but then within seconds he went down.
Yeah, adrenaline caused him to rise and look as if he was fine. As soon as that subsided, then the effects set in. Well, curiously, lads, Cavalier do not have a backup goalkeeper on the bench. It's one of the outfield players who's been designated to deputize or something to force Darren Duncan from this game.
Wow.
That's curious.
You mean the Campion College Bar student? Marshall trying to steal the ball and does. Great work there from the former St. George's star player. McCallum robust and puts the pressure on. Paris tries to steal the ball from Ricketts and doesn't. Ricketts stands firm. Simpson takes no chances, gets rid of the ball. Oh, the back pass comes to East, who sets the ball back here now for Morris, whose effort is blocked by Simpson. McCallum. Wow. That was a shot on goal that turned into a pass to Evans. Willis with a strike on goal. The deflection. Malik Foster gets onto the end of that one, but sprays it wide.
Yeah, and asking for a better pass, Malik Foster was. Well, it was a rebound, so he couldn't have come to him any better. And was trying to steal, well, did steal in front of his man. Lost his shin pad in the process and didn't make any connection with the goal. But I've been saying it from the first half, Cavalier guilty of turning the ball over in dangerous places because they want to dribble out, because they don't want to effect the long clearance to allow their defense to reset. They do that often enough against a team of Portmore's quality. It's gonna cost them, you suspect.
Yeah, strange tactics here by Cavaliers. Somehow when they're playing at home, they do not look as willingly offensive as they do when they're playing away matches. So much so that they have collected 11 points away from home. 11 of the 16 points they've had so far. Only 5 of their 16 points coming from home fixtures.
I tell you what, that point is not so curious. At home, teams sit back, it would seem, against Cavalier, who are built to counter-attack. When they go away to teams' homes, those teams as the home teams have to push the envelope, have to take the initiative, leaving themselves vulnerable to the Cavalier attacks. Make no mistake, this is an impressive counter-attacking unit where they don't have that luxury. They look subdued as they're doing so far this evening, playing at home.
Marsh to Mitchell. Takes the return play, Marsh. He's fouled, free kick. Marsh spent last season in Europe playing in Finland. Back home for domestic football now as captain of the Cavalier team. Fouled here by Phil Potts, who is aggressive in midfield for Portmore. It's Paris who has 4 white shirts in the box to aim at. Make that 5 now. His kick inside pretty poor though, and McCallum gets the ball away.
3 free kicks from him so far in this game. That's the poorest of the lot.
Simpson to Isaacs. To Plummer. Mitchell. Mitchell has played solidly in midfield for Cavaliers so far. There's a foul. Referee Nation sprints across. East is the man that's hurt from the challenge.
Yeah, while Shivani Willis has played well in the midfield for Portmorelands, they are missing the drive of Grandison, as we noted earlier. He can start a play either from an incisive run or those long 30-35 yard passes that he favors, and Portmore haven't had that so far this evening.
Calla to Morris. Here comes Johnson now. Takes the return pass from Morris. Phil Potts, Morris. Patient with the build-up at the moment. Portmore. Foster's first touch lets him down, but Portmore still keeping possession of the ball. Phil Potts, oh, he gives the ball away. Completely unforced. Marsh a little lazy in going for the ball there. Now he tumbles over the ball. Recovers well, Marsh does. Under a lot of pressure. Isaacs. Marsh. Ricketts. Paris loses the ball. Philpotts. Now Morris. Portmore displaying very patient football, even in counter-attack. They're trying not to 100% hurry the plays. Good skill by Morris. Johnson to Solomon. Portmore at the advance now through McCullough. McCullough under pressure. Morris picks up a loose ball in midfield. Willis. Willis still.
Oh.
Bit too much weight on the pass there, aiming for Evans.
That was poor. He wanted it to feet, not into space, Shavani Willis. I've just been sat here, Lance, trying to figure out why Cavaliers press. Whenever Portmore have the ball, Cavaliers fall off, almost as if they were the away team. No intensity in trying to hunt down that ball, and I don't know why they're conserving energy. You play that way when you're conserving energy. They should be looking to hunt down this ball here at their home ground and take the initiative in the game.
Oh, coming in and stealing the ball there. Siobhan East appealing for a penalty for the challenge on him from Duncan, who appears to be hurting again.
I tell you what, East has made the most of what was an ordinary ball. Looked 50-50, but he's so quick. I bet you Duncan was surprised at how quickly East got there.
Yes. And another collision to the head of Duncan, and he is again in strife and real discomfort. So goalkeeping woes now for Cavalier for sure. East moving very swiftly to the ball there, played inside by Evans, and got to the ball at the same time the goalkeeper Darren Duncan did. And out of the collision, Duncan is back down again with head trouble.
One of the things that must be frustrating for managers is devising a strategy to employ in a game, trying to play to your strengths. And then the players come and they're listless.
There's David Layler, former central defender for Cavalier some years ago. Speed looks on very anxiously because he doesn't want to make a hasty decision here. Because if Duncan has to be replaced in goal, it seems as if his midfielder, Mitchell, who has been playing steadily in the holding midfield position, will have to be taken out of that position and taking over the goalkeeper's role. So I don't think Cavalier would too quickly come to a decision to have Duncan taken out.
That's the man who may have to don the gloves and take up a position between the posts for Cavalier. And I'm wondering if this is, well, the stretcher is being sent for. I don't think Duncan can continue, Lance.
Yeah, it's beginning to look...
The stretcher has been sent for. The stretcher bearer is making his way onto the pitch now.
Yeah, it's beginning to look dim. And I don't think the coaching staff of Cavalier will be left with any options now. Because, again, for the safety of the players, head injuries are being very, very closely monitored now, and the medical staff will have to be absolutely convinced that there's no risk in continuing for a player with a head injury to have the player continue. Well, so Mitchell looks as if he's going off to get his goalkeeper's shirt on.
Yeah, he's hastily leaving the pitch, Mitchell. And he's been... We just got a high five from Alex Marshall now. He's gonna... Well, they're explaining to the fourth official what's going to happen. She just asked, who's going to go in the goal? That's what she asked, Lance. And the Simpson pointed to Mitchell.
Yeah.
maybe it's out of necessity. Maybe Rudolph's speed and his team short-staffed, so he doesn't have a backup goalkeeper. Or maybe he's saying, well, you play most of your games and you don't need to change your goalkeeper. So why take up an extra place on the bench with a goalkeeper when you can have an outfield player? I'm just guessing that that's the approach. But it's either of, and see Mitchell there with the goalkeeper jersey in his hand. Referee Nation has now come across to take part in the proceedings, and Mitchell is showing him, I'm going to wear number 23. And Nation is asking, do you have a goalkeeper?
Yeah, there are clearly some issues here because there seems to be some hold-up with the change being effected in the meantime.
That's a bottle of smelling salts, Lance.
Yeah. So Duncan with a head injury, twice struck in the head. First from a challenge for the ball when Malik Foster was going for the ball, both of them. And Foster's boot or knee appearing to strike him in the head.
Knee.
Yeah, and that was where the first blow caused problems. And then another collision now with Javon East as both of them went for the ball. So Duncan being hit in the head again. So two blows to the head of Duncan now renders him, well, out of the game. The first one here when the knee of Foster appears to strike him in the head. Took a little time for the blow or the pain of the blow to register, because right here he looks okay, but shortly after that he wasn't. And there's the other collision, struck powerfully in the head by East, who was going for the ball, to be fair to him. And brave Duncan was in challenging for the ball, and another blow to the head. And the second blow takes him off the field.
So Laston Reed is going to come up to shore up the midfield, which frees up number 6, David Mitchell, the man with the dreadlocks, to take the goalkeeper's jersey and go in. Lance, I know you've been doing this for a while. Have you ever seen a situation where a team is named without a backup goalkeeper, the starting goalkeeper gets injured, and one of the starting outfield players has to then don the jersey and go between the posts?
Can't remember ever seeing this, but it's happening now in front of our eyes. Laston Reed, former Jamalco player, transferred in the summer to Cavalier, now gets some playing time.
And again, we don't know why Cavalier started with one goalkeeper short. Usually teams have 2 goalkeepers in the squad, a reserve goalkeeper and a starting goalkeeper. But again, as I've said, the law of averages may be speed calculated. You hardly change your goalkeeper in a game. So I'm going to put an extra outfield player on the bench, and then it may be that he just doesn't have another keeper. But it's confusion here because Mitchell should have been stripped a long time ago, but I'm sure the officials are trying to clarify the rules, that it could happen actually like this. Maybe it's an argument over the kind of shirt that Mitchell could wear. I don't see why this is taking so long.
Yeah, so there was a Peter Harrison who had been in line for Cavalier goalkeeping, so Darren Duncan apparently had been their reserve goalkeeper all along. So now finally we're getting Mitchell in some goalkeeper gear to stand up between the sticks for Cavalier.
This is almost farcical because he can't wear those white socks. So he's taken them off. And now he needs a pair of gloves.
Yeah, so he has to function in a different capacity here. After 64 minutes here, David Mitchell, who had played pretty solidly in midfield for Cavalier up to this point, but now has to step in.
But no, Lance, it gets almost farcical because, he's gotten the gloves, because I was wondering if someone was going to strip poor old Darren Duncan of those gloves. Those are Duncan's gloves, now being used by Mitchell, and poor old Duncan is being led away on a stretcher by medical personnel.
Yeah, certainly hope he'll be okay. In the meantime, we're 3/4 of the way through the match now, almost, and no goals yet. We've got a corner kick here. Marshall keeping possession of the ball. Brown slides it through to Paris. Good ball by Paris to Marsh. Marsh loses his footing and loses the ball as well. Solomon does well for Portmore. Starts a counter-attacking play. Whistle from referee Nation.
Really quick, the Mona Solomon. Really, really quick.
That ball had crossed the line, so it was in fact a throw to Cavalier. So that's the story then. Peter Harrison, who had been the first string goalkeeper for Cavalier all season, is off island on personal reasons. So that's how Darren Duncan had been in goal tonight. And there is no other goalkeeper except for the part-timer Mitchell, who is now in goal for Cavalier and may be called upon for his first action now because Portmore on the advance down the right. Simpson wins the challenge with Willis.
You know, some men know their football inside out, Lance. This would be a good one for the history buffs. Good trivia question.
Yeah. Oh, Portmore on the advance now. A deflected effort here and makes the take from Mitchell pretty easy.
Maybe a case of shoot on sight because Japanese decided early that he was going to wind that one up and send it goalwards.
Yeah, because at the moment they have an untested goalkeeper in the Cavalier goal. So Portmore may want to use an opportunity to see what he's made of. You know, significantly, Portmore, George, have failed to score in 4 of the 11 matches that they've played so far. It's just that they've had some big wins: 5-0 over Waterhouse, 4-0 over Sandals, 4-1 over Boys Town. So their goal scoring tally has been built up by those big results, but they really haven't scored in 4 of the 11 games that they've played so far. So it's not uncommon from a match-by-match basis to see Portmore going scoreless.
It's like I've been saying about Japanese. When he's hot, he's hot.
Willis protects the ball well. Oh, delightful ball inside here to East. Willis with a counter play. Portmore on the advance. Mitchell with a take foul.
Yeah,
on Mitchell by Morris. Or was it Foster?
I think it would have been Morris.
Yeah.
I think Foster fell in the initial attempt to latch on to Willis's pass. This is good interplay between East and Willis.
Yeah.
Just wants a little cut back, and it was in the right direction. Foster takes a tumble, and looking at the referee as if he's saying, Mr. Nation, I was pushed.
Yeah, the Cavalier defender was bearing down on him for real. Not too sure if it was at the level that he could legitimately call for a foul. But Mitchell, emergency goalkeeper, we can call him that for Cavalier, brought into action pretty early.
The test of an emergency goalkeeper, Lance, is not in shot stopping, although that's vitally important, of course. It's in organizing the defense, especially a defense under constant pressure. And he'll be hoping that the action stays in front of him and that he can see the back of his teammates in the white shirts.
Both these teams are on a pretty good unbeaten run. Cavalier 6 games undefeated, Portmore 4 games undefeated. Cavalier looking smooth in their advance toward goal now. Smith, Reed, Marshall. Crunching challenge. Marshall stands up well. Oh, Marshall is fouled as the ball went off. And it's Willis it is who picks up a yellow card.
Is it Osani Ricketts? May have been. We'll see the replay, I'm sure.
Marshall continues to be harassed here in Red Stripe Premier League football. The most fouled Cavalier player.
That was Ricketts.
Yeah, just bracing his knee forward there and blocking Marshall's advance. So Osani Ricketts it is. Second yellow card of the match. Second yellow card for Portmore as well, because Fenton Evans had picked up one earlier on. Can Cavalier make them pay now? Plummer with a strike from 26 yards. A robust wall set up here for Portmore. And Plummer, as he did in the first half, is high with the effort.
So Lance, here's the rundown on David Mitchell. He's 5'11", as you noted, a Campion College alum, went to Florida International University and played in goal for the FIU team in the 2014 season.
Wow. Well, talk about versatile, because I'd have to say he had looked pretty solid and composed in the holding midfield position for the 60-odd minutes of this game.
I'll add to the versatility point in a minute.
Solomon reading the play well. Strong in defense for Portmore. Foster. Morris. Philpotts. Johnson. Willis. Portmore just pushing the ball around now.
Well, Lance, Mitchell will know all about angles and calculating distances. He majored in mathematics at FIU. He played lawn tennis, basketball, track and field, swimming, and of course football for Campion College. And he has kept with distinction on the college circuit. So who are we to question the ability of Mitchell to organize a defense and to stop shots?
Well, absolutely right there. Marsh, great ball forward for Brown. First touch for Brown, not as good as it needed to be, but he does well to keep control of the ball. Marshall is, that's Paris hustled off the ball there for Cavalier. And now East losing it as well. Laston Reed. East questioning the referee's call.
Handball.
East looks bewildered.
You realize that the first half, the second half has followed the pattern of the first half, Lance. Not played at a high tempo.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting that the players are wasting the conditions, Lance.
Brown under pressure.
It's too cool and comfortable to be playing football at this dawdling pace.
Brown unable to keep possession of the ball, and now Johnson wins it for Portmore. Willis. Willis gives the ball away. Plummer intercepts. Reed. Marsh fails to collect. Both teams giving the ball away now. Deshani Isaacs with a header out. Brown just shoves Evans in the back. Free kick to Portmore.
Portmore have lost their rhythm. Not playing as well, the forwards aren't, as they did in the first half. It's gotten scrappy. And maybe that protracted break to change the goalkeeper for Cavalier didn't help proceedings.
Smith getting a clearance away here for Cavalier, just fending off the Portmore advance for the moment. And now Paris goes darting away down the left side. Tumbles over. Free kick to Cavalier on the left. So the 17-year-old, not as prominent in the game as he was in the opening 10 or 15 minutes, tries to go charging away down the left side, and his move is aborted.
I tell you what, if that was deliberate, that was a good foul by Philpott.
Been committing a lot of fouls in midfield, very robust in midfield for Portmore. Philpotts. Again, Cavalier now from a set play. Paris's kick this time inside is better than we've seen a few of the others. Brown with an effort on goal. Cavalier, offside flag has gone up.
Yeah, and he still couldn't find the finish, Laston Reed. He doesn't score from there. He scores, but from a distance. Scored a few belters last season, maybe a couple. And yeah, two men were standing in an offside position, and that ball was flicked through to them by Alex Marshall.
Yeah. Scored from inside the box against Waterhouse earlier on this season on a Monday night fixture.
He did. Now prepare for more speed, Lance. Nicholas Hamilton is going to come in for Cavalier shortly.
Yeah, I've been waiting for his arrival, and he'll replace Orlando Brown. So Hamilton The next card being played by Rudolph Speed. On a night when Cavalier have looked slow. Oh, the effort on goal wide of the target. Kamoy Simpson, all alone, just outside the 6-yard box. And kicks wide with a goalkeeper at his mercy.
That caught the calf. That came off the calf. I'd like him to explain to me how from that position he didn't connect with that ball properly, the side of his foot. Kamoy Simpson.
That was a great free kick from Paris, wasn't it?
Yes.
Delightful free kick, curling beyond the defense, falling on the lap of Simpson, who hit wide. And there's Hamilton now on. So speed and more speed for the Cavalier front end now. Orlando Brown exits. Less than 14 minutes remaining. We expect a lot of time to be added on for stoppages because the goalkeeper issue with Darren Duncan for the Cavalier team ate up a lot of time there in the second half. Foster, dangerous player for Portmore United, gives himself some room. McCullough. McCullough's cross inside has some danger to it, but Plummer gets the right boot clearance out. Philpotts under pressure. Solomon. Johnson. Evans unable to keep the ball in.
Kamoy Simpson, the wrong man on the end of that chance for Cavalier. By far the best chance of the game for either team.
Yes, that's for sure. And we have to say against the run of play because it's Portmore that have looked a lot more threatening consistently in the game.
Yeah.
And Cavalier almost snatched one there.
Portmore lining up another change. Well, their first change.
Marsh. Hamilton. Oh, delightful ball inside here now to Marshall. Marshall will want to get this one into his left boot. Does so now. His cross to the far post. Oh, the header, but easily taken by Paul in Portmore's goal.
Wow, Kahim Paris should have done better. Can't say his youth excuses him. Look at this cross. Delicious, bending into his path, and Laston Reed and him got in each other's way, Kahim Paris. And he failed to make proper contact, was stretching. Barely caught it with the forehead. And meat and drink for Shavon Sean Paul in the end. Number 24 is coming in for Portmore. That's Saniki Burton, and number 11, Sule McCullough, takes a seat. So 2 chances for Cavalier Lance in short order.
Yeah. So Saniki Burton. McCullough. So Foster waiting to take the free kick here now for Portmore. Oh, he takes it short. Morris. Foster! Oh, the save by Mitchell! Diving to his left and preventing that one from striking the net. So Mitchell shows his worth as a goalkeeper. Danger not fully averted yet, though. And there goes the speedy Hamilton. Sends Marsh on the way. Foster goes in chase. Marsh tries to get by Johnson. Foster comes challenging for all he's worth. Johnson fouls Marsh. Free kick to Cavalier on the right.
Brilliant defending from Malik Foster. Chased all the way back. Look at the save from Mitchell, though, and helped out by Jerome Smith, who finished it up with 2 men in blue shirts lurking.
Wow, so the emergency goalkeeper comes in and saves the day for Cavalier. Just over 10 minutes of normal time remaining.
Couldn't get a fist at it, but got an arm to at least divert the ball from goal. And yes, it was breaking for 2 Portmore players, but his defenders were there to bail him out. Jerome Smith booting it away. And then Malik Foster, when that play broke down, gunning back to run with Siobhan Marsh.
So McCalla exits, and Saniki Burton, the 20-year-old, now on. And there's Mitchell. Makes a very, very decisive save for Cavalier in goal. Paris with a set play now for Cavalier. Dangerous free kick inside. Johnson gets rid of the ball. There's Johnson.
Chances for both teams in the second half. Big intervention by the Cavalier goalkeeper just now. And two poor finishes by Cavalier while we're still at 0-0.
Willis. Morris fails to retrieve. Smith. Oh, they've given the ball away, Cavalier, and now Philpotts has control in midfield for Portmore. Strong challenge by Reed. Philpotts gets into an argument on the sideline. He's been a hard man in midfield for Portmore tonight.
Playing the grandest role, at least that portion of it.
Reed. Hamilton gives the ball away. Foster, the live wire for Portmore. East protects the ball well and gives it back to Foster. Again, East. Foster, good exchanges here between Foster and East. Cavalier, though, recovering and winning possession. Paris now with the ball. The teenager for Cavalier under pressure. Tumbles over from the challenge. Free kick to Cavalier. Backing up.
Didn't have the passing options he wanted, so intelligently held on to the ball. Malik Foster is down, so Shane Nation is going to attend to him. But both teams getting chances in the second half and not capitalizing. Cavalier egregiously so. Two very poor misses. And they may rue those missed chances when this game is done. That's Foster going down hard. The defender got ball, there's no doubt about it, but the follow through cleaned out Malik Foster.
Yeah.
Only winded though, he's back.
Yeah, but he's given so much tonight, Foster, in the attacking midfield role for Portmore. Has a lot of pace, outstanding dribbling skills, and has been a constant menace to the Cavalier defenders tonight. So Portmore, 5-time domestic champions of football in Jamaica. 2 of those titles won under a different name, Hazard United, back in '93 and 2003. Portmore under pressure now, trying to get the ball away. Johnson does successfully. Plummer for Cavalier. Paris. Smith. First touch from Hamilton, not the best. Luckily for Cavalier, they retain possession of the ball. Whips the cross inside. And it's Ricketts, I think, that gets the ball away.
Yeah, Ricketts. Clearance wasn't brilliant, but it was enough. Get the sense that Hamilton hasn't caught the pace of the game just yet.
These should be good times for Hamilton, the 21-year-old former Holy Trinity player. He's a player with a lot of pace, so if he comes on up against players who have already been on for 80 minutes, you would expect that his extreme pace could be detrimental to Cavalier. Foster shoved over after trying to sprint forward there. Walcott putting the brakes on him there with a challenge late.
It's like trying to bottle smoke, Malik Foster. Very quick.
For much of Portmore's campaign last year and the year before, he was used as a super sub, used effectively as a super sub. He's on here for 90 minutes tonight, 6 minutes remaining. Cavalier getting the ball away. The bicycle kick attempted on goal by Solomon. Solomon, big, strong national defender, former Old Harbour player, now 23 years old. Has been known to score some goals occasionally. That, of course, is not his forte.
there to prevent goals. I'm already thinking what both coaches will be saying in the post-match interviews. Their thoughts on the game. Neither will be pleased.
No, for sure not.
Because this game was there for the taking. Cavalier just the same old story, not taking chances, especially not taking chances at home this season. And for large parts of this contest, Lance, looking like the away team. Cavalier.
Yeah. Could suggest that Portmore could claim to have an excuse because their main midfielder, Grandison, and captain out with an injury, as is their leading goal scorer, Jeremy Lynch. So at least they have some issues from a roster standpoint that prevented them from giving their best tonight. Here's a substitute, Burton on the ball. Burton still. Burton with a return play. Cavalier making a mess of trying to get the ball away. Now Foster has it. Willis. The return play from Morris. Willis tries to get the cross inside, but it's behind. And the threat averted.
Very good play from Isaacs on the defense. Forced Willis, always forcing him wide. And on this weaker left side, look at Isaac step across into his path. Forces him wide, off balance, can't get the crosser. Flashing across the goal.
Yeah.
Good defending.
Yeah, so Willis, after a successful Manning Cup campaign with Jamaica College last year, played Premier League football for Boys Town, now transferred to Portmore and trying to make his mark at the top flight.
Yeah, there's a cliche description. A player is tall, takes care of the ball, you say he's elegant. I've never heard a short player being described as elegant. Willis fits the stereotypical tall player mold. Very, very elegant on the ball. Always looks like he has time. And that's a dead-on mark of a good player.
Yeah. One of the stalwarts in the Jamaica College championship winning team. Oh, Cavalier looking a little sloppy in their defensive third. Mitchell has an easy take in goal for Cavalier. Portmore actually CFU champions back in 2005 when they beat Suriname's Robin Hood in the final. The Grenadian standout Anthony Modeste was part of that Portmore squad. Actually scored in the first leg of that final against Robin Hood from Suriname. Cavalier on the advance now with Paris. Under a lot of pressure, Paris from Ricketts, but keeps the ball well, protects it well. And Cavalier on the advance. Solomon with the clearance out. Ricketts finally with the finishing clearance. Throw to Cavalier just above the half line.
Another change. This one for Portmore, number 12 coming out. That's Venton Evans. And 21 coming in, Enrico Ricketts.
So Evans, one of the two Portmore players on a yellow card, goes out of the game. Solomon, strong and robust with the challenge there, wins a free kick, although he still had possession of the ball.
Marshall trying to defend from the front. And determined not to let the centre half have a comfortable time clearing the ball.
Solomon. Willis. East. Morris allows the ball to run here to Foster. Foster. East again. Foster comes sliding in and misses the ball. Cavalier with a counter-attacking opportunity here through Paris. Marsh. Still Marsh.
Every time Portmore interchange those quick snappy passes, 1-2, bam, bam, bam. They look to have the Cavalier defenders confused. Oh my.
Oh, ball given away here by Plummer. And Morris has it. Wins a corner.
Yeah, good defending in the end by Plummer. Morris's first touch was heavy. Well, his second touch was heavy. And good speed shown by Plummer to close down the distance to get across.
Yeah, some moments of sloppiness here from the Cavalier defense. 6 minutes to be added on for stoppages, so we're on to full time, but at least 6 minutes more to play. And Portmore with an opportunity here from Malik Foster, corner kick to the far post. Simpson with a final clearance, and the counter-attack now from Cavalier. Offside flag has gone up against Marshall. Referee Nation allows the play to go on though. Now there's a whistle. Philpotts is down for Portmore United. The flag had gone up here for an offside call against Marshall. Isaacs misses the ball, but Plummer doesn't.
Yeah. And that fast break, I expected Marsh to carry that ball, to attack the defender. Everyone was expecting the pass. The whole stadium was. He could have just gone for the unexpected. This game promised much. Hasn't delivered much.
Marsh using his space, gets into the box, does Marsh. Marsh missed kicks with the right foot. Wow! That was a chance for the Cavalier captain to seal it in stoppage time.
Yeah, he's a nice player. He's a player I like, but if I can count how many times he did that.
Oh, delightful ball inside here. East is unable to get to it from the Morris flick on.
What a defensive play by Plummer. That was vital. Beautiful attacking play from Portmore. Better defending from Cavalier.
Foster Burton's cross inside. He gets the rebound. The young substitutes cross inside. Good vital header there from Plummer, putting the attacking play away from Portmore. Isaacs. Reed. Oh, his first touch is poor, Reed, but he recovers well. Delightful ball from Reed, finds the speed of Hamilton down the flank. Johnson goes in chase. Ricketts heads out. Johnson tidies up. And now Burton has acres of room for Portmore. East gets by his man. Smith goes in chase. Burton, two blue shirts in the box waiting. Willis has a chance to drive a shot from distance. Saw him score from there in Manning Cup football for Jamaica College. But this is a top flight. And he's off target. Yeah. 3 minutes remaining in stoppage time.
The goal is the same. This is Willis, has some time. And always wide. Tracking that one wide. Your most valuable player for this game, Lance?
It's one of those tough games to call a valuable player. Mitchell, emergency goalkeeper, based on his role, especially in the save from the Foster, if it was it, the left-footed drive.
Yes.
And I think Foster has had an outstanding game as well for Portmore tonight, so he enters the conversation as well. But maybe Mitchell. Yeah,
Mitchell has prevented Foster from doing better than he has done so far. So you have to go with him. And with great dexterity, played well outfield and has played well between the posts. Not many of these players on the field have the ability to do that.
Well, less than 10 minutes remaining, and here is Plummer with another opportunity to strike at goal. He goes short this time. Cavalier with the opportunity late. Marsh's cross cut off. He gets the rebound. Philpotts puts pressure on. Marsh does well. Still Marsh. Plummer's effort is wide.
Corner.
Have to say a 0 scoreline between these two teams would not be a result that would have been in my forecast. both teams have struggled to deliver their best form here tonight. Hamilton tries to go away, but cannot breach the tight Portmore defense.
Yeah,
best defense in the league at the moment, Portmore.
The word lackluster tends to be thrown around sometimes, but if there was one word to describe the game, you would say it's been lackluster, this contest.
Well, referee O'Shea Nation has seen enough, and there will be no goals tonight between Portmore and Cavalier. I guess the only good thing you can say about these two teams is that both have stretched their unbeaten record. Portmore now to 7, to Cavalier now to 7, and Portmore to 5.
Yeah, forgettable fixture for both teams. Good enough only for the fact that Mitchell translated so well from outfield to goalkeeper and played both positions with some quality, Lance.
Yes, he certainly did, and he's our man of the match tonight. So no change in the standings with both teams. Portmore still second and Cavalier still 6th, with a 0-0 scoreline between Cavalier and Portmore. Red Stripe Football Mondays ending goalless tonight, with Portmore travelling to Cavalier and taking a point. So that's the 90-minute story. The post-game story after this.
Mr. One bag of gold medal pan me no. Red Stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing Anthem. Red Stripe, watch out. Man shall I better forward boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal win a run from boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy.
The Red Stripe Premier League for champions only.
So 0-0 at the end of 90 minutes between Cavalier and Portmore tonight. Portmore remain second in the lead behind Arnett Gardens, and Cavalier still 6th in the table. Not a lot of highlights from the action tonight. Portmore looking the busy of the two teams early. Foster setting the ball back here for Ricardo Morris, whose rifling left-footed shot goes a metre or so wide of Darren Duncan's goal. Rashawn Plummer with a strike from the free kick from 26 yards, but that's high as well. Another Portmore advance here. The ball bounces into East. He doesn't react quickly enough, and the goalkeeper has the easy take after Simpson had missed the opportunity. That was all she wrote for the first half. There's Simpson. East completely unprepared, and the ball just bobbles off his thigh into the arms of the goalkeeper. Second half action, East with a tame header on goal. Darren Duncan with a save for Cavalier. Best chance of the match for the night, and Kamoy Simpson sprays the brilliant free kick from the teenager Raheem Paris wide of the target. Brilliant save from the emergency goalkeeper Mitchell. A rifled left-footed strike from Malik Foster, but Mitchell reacts well here, and Smith makes the clearance complete. No goals between Portmore and Cavalier tonight. Portmore had 14 strikes on goal, 4 of them on target. Significantly fewer attempts and on-target attempts from Cavalier. 14 fouls from Portmore tonight. 10 fouls from Cavalier. 3 yellow cards in the match, 2 of them coming from Portmore players. Venton Evans and Osani Rickards. 51 ball possession for Cavalier tonight, and Mitchell, man of the match, is with George Davis.
All right, so Mitchell donning the gloves there after Duncan's unfortunate injury. Simple collection here for him after the shot was deflected, and then another take for him. Easy regulation stuff, but can he really keep is the question many people are asking. But look at this from Shivani Willis. Goes up and he claims that's nothing, he was only getting warm. All right, there was a big save there that we didn't get on that replay, but we'll get it. Master Mitchell, I have to say that you're the man of the match. Collect your beer first. From Michelle Cunningham, assistant brand manager, Red Stripes.
Congratulations, you stepped up for your team when they needed you the most. Man of the match, well deserved.
Good. Well, if you think that, well, some of you with short memories may not know that Mitchell is a specialist goalkeeper, played with distinction for Florida International University, where he saved them on many occasions, and he got to the game as a midfielder, excelled in that role until he was called to take the gloves and stand between the sticks. Were you pleased to have to abandon your midfield role, David?
No, I wanted to help my team in the middle, but wherever my team does need me, I'll step up, and that was in the role tonight, so I'm happy I was able to step in and keep a clean sheet for them.
Yeah, your ambition with this Cavalier team this season?
To win everything we can. We want to go as far as we can. Our hope is to be at the top of the league at the end of the season. We're working very hard as a team to fulfill that. Watching
the team, we were saying that the action for both teams a bit lackluster. There was just something missing. Your thoughts on the 90 minutes?
Well, I thought we held our own given the condition the team is in. I think everyone has a flu right now on the team, including myself. So it was really hard to keep up to normal playing standards that we normal slip movements and the fast-paced passing. Other than that, I think we did the best we could under the conditions.
All right, this is not my trophy. This is your Sportsmax Man of the Match trophy. All right, David, congratulations. All right, so that's the Man of the Match. He plays for Cavalier, and he started in the midfield, but then he went into the goal and came up with one big save. Shavar Thomas is the coach of Portmore United. Your thoughts on the 90?
Solid performance in the first half from our team. I think we just didn't capitalize on our chances that we created, and feel like it's 2 points lost rather than 1 point game.
Yeah, did the Cavalier team do anything unexpected? Was there any tactic that you hadn't accounted for in your preparation?
No, I mean, we expected for them to try to beat us on the counter-attack with the talents of Marsh and Marshall. So, they didn't break us down. We kept them in front of us and kept it safe for the most part, because they didn't have any shots really or any major chances. But nevertheless, we want to create the chances and be clinical in front of goal, and we were not today.
Any idea when your leading scorer, Jeremy Lynch, will return from that fractured nose?
No, not yet.
All the best, Shavar.
Thank you very much.
Shavar Thomas, the coach of Portmore United. They got a point from the game. The home coach, Rudolph Speed, is now with me. Your goalkeeper, your midfielder turned goalkeeper, said that the squad wasn't really at their optimum because several members were struggling with flu, and so they didn't really have that oomph this evening. Do you believe that counted against their performance today?
Oh, definitely, and I mean, we didn't get to start with the regular players that usually start. Actually, the midfielder turned goalkeeper got a start today because of the said reason.
So overall, your thoughts on the 90? Because we felt that it was just lacking something in the game, especially in the second half, where you expected both teams to go for the win.
Well, no, but we went for the win in the last part of the game. But the truth is, at that particular point, it could have gone either way, because Portmore got some chances too. But we were hunting to the end, and when we inject Hamilton, another part of the foursome, we started to play much faster at the end. I think we started to play much faster a little bit too late, and that maybe cost us not getting the 3 points.
Last thing, Rudolph, Simpson got a good chance for you one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and then young Paris barely got his forehead to one that he should have really put away. You consider this 2 points dropped?
Oh, definitely. I think Simpson one was probably the easier of both, and Paris actually got in a mix-up with the other midfielder, and maybe that is the reason why we didn't score that one too. But I'm still encouraged. That was the number 2 ranked team in Jamaica from last year. Still is the number 2 ranking team. I'm encouraged.
All right, Rudolph, Godspeed.
Thank you.
That's Rudolph Speed, the coach of the Cavalier team. So at the end of 90 minutes, a stalemate. David Mitchell, the goalkeeper for Cavalier, who started in the midfield for the team, said that they had flu lunch. They had the flu. The whole squad racked by the flu, and that's why they weren't at their sparkling best this evening. And to be fair, it showed because the game lacked luster.
Yeah, that certainly is an explanation that was showing up tonight. We know now that was a problem, but this has been a disappointing encounter here tonight between two teams that have played well so far this season and didn't deliver tonight.
Absolutely so. So both coaches believing that it was 2 points lost rather than 2 points gained, but rather than a point gained. And given the chances that both teams had, especially in the second half, especially Cavalier, Rudolph Speed has reasons to believe that his team let him down this evening.
Yeah, and being at home as well, and their home problems continue. continue, because this is now where they've only won one of their 6 home matches, Cavalier. Not the kind of record that you want to be advertising on your home patch.
Definitely so. All right, so that's it from us here at the Stadium East Field. Portmore United and Cavalier promised much, but ultimately delivered little. A game featuring some of the best young players in Jamaica. They just didn't have their usual sparkle this evening, but we'll be back another Monday. Red Stripe Football Monday. We'll do it again.
Premier League. I miss one bag of gold medal pan me no. Red Stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing Anthem. Red Stripe, watcha. Banchella me the forward boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal when I run from boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy now. Back down we run the marathon boy. Them wish I never made it that the champion boy pan. Nah man I don't a songsters boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah yo.